Can meditation really help prisoners tame their wild side? We'll take a look at whether it's worth tax dollars to find out today on Stun Your Lives. 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, only on CNN.
There's no middle of the road when you're in the midst of a crossfire.
On the left, Mike Kinsley.
On the right, John Sununu.
And whoever's in the hot seat better be ready for scorching debate.
Why can't you be honest and say there is a disagreement here about what it means to interpret the law?
Crossfire. Such a wild time. There ought to be a law against it.
Tune in weekdays at 7:30 on CNN. It's on cable, Cox Cable.
On CNN today, from high-tech to low-tech, how are Americans protecting their homes on Early Prime? Later on Showbiz Today, Damon Wayans talks about making Mo money. All today on CNN.
Opposing this. The Michigan State Medical Society and all the county medical societies now have the responsibility to do something, not just talk.
Kevorkian could still face murder charges in connection with the suicide of another woman back in May. President Bush visited a Russian Orthodox church in Garfield, New Jersey today. He told the crowd if the Berlin Wall could fall, then the U.S. economy can turn around. Earlier in the day, Mr. Bush stopped at a private Catholic school in Pennsylvania. He touted his GI Bill for children. It would give $1,000 for needy families so parents could send their children to public or private schools. The Democrats' favorite sons roll into St. Louis tonight. Bill Clinton and Al Gore wind up their 6-day bus tour of Middle America tomorrow with a gathering at the city's main library. Gene Randall looks at how the Clinton-Gore ticket spent the day.
Bill Clinton's first order of business Tuesday morning in Louisville, rejecting President Bush's charge that the Clinton economic plan is a case of smoke and mirrors.
We can explain that smoke and mirrors. But my plan invests $50 billion in America, creates 1 million jobs a year, gives us educational excellence, and tackles the health care crisis. 3 things he doesn't do.
Bush had fired up his supporters in Louisville the night before with a satellite TV hookup, during which he said the Democrats were an obstacle to economic growth. And before they went jogging Tuesday morning, Clinton and his running mate, Senator Al Gore, said amen to an editorial cartoon.
Baghdad, home to millions and home sweet home to international terrorists. For a decade, the U.S. watched Iraq roll out the welcome mat and looked the other way. Iraq and terrorism, a CNN special assignment throughout the day Wednesday.
TBS Newswatch is brought to you by Kodacolor Gold Film. Newswatch is from Headline News. Anytime, all the time.
A woman's menstrual cycle. The report in the medical journal Lancet says changing the timing of the operations could save thousands of lives each year. Doctors speculate the difference may have to do with female hormone output. U.S. President George Bush has wrapped up his business in Washington, headed north to a speaking engagement in Boston. The president plans to...
From the Headline News Network, this is PBS Newswatch.
Secretary of State George Shultz had a close call with an assassination attempt today in Bolivia. A bomb exploded near his motorcade as it was driving from the airport. No one was injured, although a window of Schultz's wife's car was shattered. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. Schultz is on a 10-day tour of Central and South America. The United Nations Secretary, Javier Perez de Cuellar, announces today a ceasefire between Iran and Iraq. The 2 Middle Eastern countries have been fighting for 8 years. Over 1 million people have died. The 2 sides will also meet face-to-face for negotiations once the ceasefire is in place. NASA has rescheduled the important test firing of the shuttle Discovery's main engines for Wednesday. They were to have been fired up last Thursday until a computer discovered a valve misfunction. The firing tests the engines and the entire countdown process, which begins tomorrow night. Discovery's launch has not been rescheduled, although the original September date is unlikely to be met. The Duchess of York, otherwise known as Fergie, has entered a London hospital to give birth to her and Prince Andrew's first child. For Newswatch, I'm Lisa Habib.
For the
Headline News Network 24 hours a day. Call your cable operator.